All right, so for reasons beyond my control, we had audio technical difficulties, and all the audio in the first part of this video was lost, and I'm having to do a voiceover. I want you to hang in there with me. I've got some good information I want to share with you about alternators, charging, and batteries. So let's get into it. So the most reliable vehicle I own, or one of the most reliable vehicles I own, well, lost the alternator. The other day I was coming home from work, looked down on the dash, alternator lights on, and so it just is what it is. 200,000 miles and, a 5-year-old battery. What are you going to do? Sometimes things break. So we began to shut everything off, headlights, any accessories inside the vehicle, AC, we shut everything down and continued on home on what was left of the battery. And here in a few minutes you're going to see when I tested it, by cutting everything off, we were able to get some charge going back on the alternator, and it was enough to get me on home. So if you're in that situation and you find yourself that your alternator light is on, go ahead and start cutting everything off, and hopefully you'll be able to make it home like I did. So, like I said, this is the original alternator that came on this car in 1997. The car has just 202,000 miles on it. So, that's pretty good, actually. That's not bad at all. The battery I'm leaned up over there is about 5 years old. I think it was 4.5 or 5 years old, somewhere in that range. This is a Walmart Value Power battery. At the time, I think I paid $59 for that battery, and it actually had been in my daughter's car, and I swapped it for the battery that was in this car because it was newer. And, she's going to be out of town. I wanted to go ahead and put the best battery in her car in hopes of preventing her from having a breakdown. But anyway, that just goes to show you that the Value Power batteries are of decent quality, and I've had pretty good success with them, lasting a minimum of about 3 years. So there's no sense in going out and spending $150 or $200 on a battery that's going to go out in 3 to 4 years anyway. So, all right, so in this clip, we are setting up your meter, and we have the vehicle running. This was after it had sat for a little while and cooled down, and no load, it was actually charging 14.3. I go ahead and I turn the AC on, I turn the headlights on, turn the wipers on, and immediately you can see that the voltage begins to dive off and just continues to go downhill from here. The alternator is not charging. I believe it has something wrong with the diode trio or the internal regulator, the diodes in the internal regulator. It will not provide enough amperage under a extreme load. All right, and right here, I'm going to get back in the car, and I'm going to go ahead and start shutting off the all the accessories, AC, and all the other stuff, and you can immediately see headlights. Anything I can turn off, I turned off, and the voltage will begin to climb. And this is the vehicle at idle. If you give it a rev, I'm reaching over there, revving it up right there, you can see that it immediately, begins to come up. That would be enough charge that if you're on the side of the road, it'll get you home. It'll keep the battery charged long enough to get you home. But it's just not going to carry all the accessories and stuff. All right, well, if you're still here, I appreciate you toughing through the voiceover with me. We are about to resume our regularly scheduled audio. All right, it's been a couple of days, but we're back. We have acquired a reman alternator from the good old O'Reilly's, and remanufactured in Mexico. So we're going to get this installed. I took a few minutes to review what tools I would need. 12 millimeter wrench, 14 millimeter wrench, and a 10 millimeter wrench, and your 2 fingers, because there's one connector. That's all that's required to get this alternator off. 12, 14, and 10, and your 2 fingers. So we're going to get set up, and it's a little tight on the bottom bolt. That's the hardest bolt to get to on the entire project, and get this alternator swapped. So all right, so let's talk batteries real quick. I generally use Walmart's cheapest battery, which is the Value brand, Everstart Value at Walmart. This battery was at 12.7 the other day when I got home, and it is currently at 12.13. This battery is drifting from a full charge, and this will kill your alternator. A battery that cannot maintain 12.7, 12.5, somewhere in there, 12.6, is causing your alternator to overwork. It's having to try to charge. This would be considered a dead battery. 12.13 is a dead battery. So, and it is, according to this sticker, it is, 5 years old at least. It was manufactured. The manufacturer sticker is 11 of 20, and here we are in April of 2026. So, yeah, 5.5 years old or so. So, yeah, this battery has seen its last charge. The people say that these batteries aren't any good, but it hung in there just fine in the stock application and doing its job. This battery was first in my daughter's Camry, and I bought it new and put it in that Camry, and then when she went to college, there was an even newer battery in this car. So I swapped them because she was going to be 2 hours away. And ironically, they both died at the same time. So, but it was, the other one was 3 years old and this one is 5.5. So anyway, moving along, we're going to get in here and get the reman alternator back installed. All right, so I got the alternator out of the box, and I wanted to make sure and see if it had all of the wire loom holders and all that stuff. Well, guess what? They do not put that stuff back on these reman alternators. You have a clip here and a clip here. They're not on this one. These actually mount and isolate your wiring harness to keep it from shaking around and vibrating and breaking stuff. Toyota put it on there. They thought it was necessary. So it's probably a good idea if you take this stuff off and swap it over to this alternator. It was on there from the factory. I think I'm going to put it back. All right, so got the clip swapped over there. That way we'll be able to hold our harness. So let's get it installed back in the vehicle now. So here we go. Alternator's back installed. Something that'll probably help you out. And it's been a while since I had this thing apart. If you jack it up, take the passenger side front tire off. There is a splash shield you can take off. It'll make it easier for you to route the belt back around the bottom of the crank. It's really hard to get to it from up here, but you can take a long pry bar and walk the belt back around. the crank pulley. It's just a little more tedious to do it that way. But anyway, we've got to come up with a battery before we fire this up, because like I said, if your battery is not charged up to at least 12.4 volts, it can kill your alternator almost immediately. So we're going to have to go get another battery for this car before we crank it up and test everything out. So time out. Only be a few seconds for you. All right, so it's several hours later. We took a little time to have some family time and went to a car show and just got together and had a good time. On the way home, we stopped and got a new battery, the best that Walmart can supply. They go for $83.53 out the door if you have your core when you walk in. At one time, these batteries actually used to say they were manufactured by Johnson Controls, and I don't have any reason to believe that has changed. I believe it's still the case. So we're going to get in here, go ahead, get this battery installed, and then we're going to do a check and make sure that the alternator is actually putting out the correct voltage and that it is supposed to under load. So let's hop to it. All right, let's see if it's going to crank up. As we got power keys dinging. All right. Check the belt. Belt seems to be tracking properly. All right. Let's check no load output. No load output. Set these terminals, connectors up so that I don't have to hold on to it. All right, 14.65 volts. Now, that's a little hot, but there's nothing running, no cooling fans, nothing like that, so it may come down when we start loading it up. All right, now that we got everything on, let's see what we got. There we go. That's wipers on, AC on, headlights on high, and we're holding at 14.56 volts. Fixed.
Did you know this car's fixed so she can drive it?
Yes, it is fixed so that I can drive it. All right, so let's cover a few key takeaways here from beginning to end so we can wrap this thing up. We suspected that there was a bad alternator because under load, the alternator would not charge. Remembering back when I first started shooting this video, I shut the headlights off, shut the fan off, and shut everything off. The battery light went off on the dash, and I was able to make it home. And when I came out here and initially checked it with no load on, it was trying to do okay. Then when I started adding load, it dropped and completely quit charging, and you were strictly on battery voltage, period. Then after that, and you shut everything off, the alternator was charging at 13.3, which is not enough to support the car. It's just not. One of the other key takeaways that you need to keep in mind is anytime you put an alternator on, you need to make sure that you have a good battery. Battery minimum voltage before you crank your car should be at least 12.4 volts. The other day when I first brought this car back, that battery was at 12.7 volts, and I let it sit a couple of days, until I could get my hands on the alternator, and well, the battery had drifted off a full charge, and it's 5.5 years old, so there's no sense in messing around with it. Just go ahead, like I did, get another battery and move on. When you get ready to test your alternator, at the end, AC fan on high, headlights on high beam, turn on your wipers, turn on your radio, turn on just as many accessories inside your car as you can, and then check your battery voltage at the battery and see what it's getting. It should continue to step up your voltage. You should be over 14 volts, 14.2 to 14.5, somewhere in there. And that will keep your battery charged and support all of your electrical accessories on your car. So, with all that being said, all right, real quick, before we step out of here, I want to say it's kind of been a while since I put up a video. Last month and a half has kind of been crazy. Been doing some traveling, been doing some other stuff. And the main thing that's been going on within the last 2 to 3 weeks is my wife lost her daddy. I lost my father-in-law and friend, and originator and original owner of that 54 Ford Club Coupe that is on my channel. So just really hadn't felt like doing a video. But like Tracy Lawrence says, time marches on. We'll continue to show his car, enjoy that car, and drive it, and carry on his legacy, and his name associated with that car was his pride and joy. So, appreciate you coming by. We're going to try to get back on a regular routine of some regular videos again. This one just happened to fall in my lap, and it's always a good for folks to have a refresher on what you're looking for with an alternator and a battery when you're trying to get your car back going. So I hope that helps somebody, and until next time, peace.